Is it too much to ask to just let me revive my buddy? Any time now. Let's have a bit of a timeout, a bit of a ceasefire, a little bit of détente. For God's sakes, stop this shenanigans. Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too. Welcome back to the channel, I'm Bushka, and today we'll be talking about points of exit and points of entry, how they're important for you in the game, and how tactically they can add up to a whole lot of frags and an enjoyable experience. Egress and ingress in reverse order are going to be the things that we're really going to be copying off on here and signing away on the dotted line. Now, this is very, very obvious. This is a point of entry or exit for the island-containing military base between the mainland of Erangel and the high-volume Luda Hacienda that is Millbase. Now, this is obvious. This is the reason I've shown you this footage is bridges are pretty much specific points where you have to get across and you get funneled into a choke point and people can camp them and do damage or force you into poor tactical situations. The real key here, though, is to understand that there are specific points all over the map that are almost like Thieves Highways, like the rooftops of a city, where people come in and out like rats into really high volume areas where there's good loot or there's lots of fighting, all that kind of stuff. And it doesn't have to be a bridge. I'm going to show you a couple of examples here, and I'm going to show you how you can utilize them and you can actually, how you can use them to your advantage. Now, this is boot camp. And the northern section of boot camp, you exit through the warehouses along the banks of the river, and that's almost like it is such a high volume area in terms of circle movement. When boot camp moves north, this is one of the major routes out. You run along the edge of the river, and if you know how to set up for this kind of thing, you can really lay off and actually get a lot of frags by gatekeeping squads that are going to push out of boot camp, and they've generally got a whole lot of loot. And if the circle pushes either towards the south or from the west towards the east, then this is the exit point for boot camp. And the reason being that it's a nice ridge line, there's houses, there's immediate cover from the rocks and the trees, and you can use that to actually get out of the area, and it's the kind of closest safe zone. If you understand these two things, then you are going to be able to save yourself a lot of time and trouble when it comes to winning games on Sanhok in particular. But the same thing happens at places like Georgia Pole Crates or, the Rojok. You can get up on top of the hill above Rojok and watch people as they get punched along. Like, this is exit and entry 101. I'm going to cue this game I'm having at the moment. Mr. Ouija was watching this one. And there's a couple of guys that you can see in the kill feed there. There's Sig Denham, I think it is. And there's he's got a partner in crime with him at the moment. And they are obviously getting a lot of kills and spam in the kill feed. And I'm worried about them. There's 20 people left, and they've dominated what I suspect is boot camp. Now, you're going to see that I have a marker on the map there. You can see my yellow line. Southwest, I'm 400 meters from that marker right now. And I have looked at the circle, and I've figured out, there we go, it's GFL Tacey is Sig Denham's amigo. And they are ripping through boot camp. They've dominated the kill feed, and they are looking very, very strong. Knowing that they are probably, is another kill for Tacey and another one for Denham. Then Ouija was watching this kill feed saying these guys are going off. Knowing that they've done really, really well, and that there's that many kills coming up, and that the circle is moving this direction, and that I've cleared Paradise Resort, and they're probably going to be coming out of boot camp, I'm going to use that exit and entry point as a means to wipe probably the two most prolific killers on the map and the most likely people to give me trouble as we progress towards what would be an ultimate final circle showdown. And I'm going to put myself, I'm running so long to get this shot, right? I'm running so far and so long to get this. But this is the kind of reasoning that I have behind this move. It's not some kind of inarticulate, just I'm going to run around and look at things. I've marked the mini-map. I know exactly where I'm going, and I know exactly what the plan is. I'm going to get here, and the two guys who have torn everyone apart at boot camp are probably going to exit with this circle directly to the southeast rather, and I'm going to stand behind a rock and wait for them. And it might seem a little bit dirty, it might seem a little bit low, But I'm just going to camp them out here. I'm expecting them to come this way. And I've talked so often in the past about patterns of human behavior and how people can be very, very predictable. And even me, and someone that understands this, I will exit. This is where I'll exit boot camp because it is the closest to cover, the tree line, the rocks, the houses. There's gaps there that you can use to actually get to cover as quickly as possible. And if you exit across the other side of boot camp, you spend so much time running across wide open roadways, and there's no cover there, and it's grassy fields. And I mean, I've been slotted with AWMs as we crossed there with Chapos and Ouija and the boys before. And there's more gunfire in there. And I can hear that they are still in boot camp, and I'm expecting it to be these two good players. This is very, very key. This is not some random happenstance. This is something that you can do every time. There we go. There's Sigdendum, and I'm expecting his teammate to pop soon. That'll be the Tacey kid. They're featured together in the kill feed. I'm listening. Above me. Yep, here he comes. And good on him, he has a crack immediately. I've wiped his mate. He's going to have a go. That's probably the two best players on the map to deal with. And we've dealt with them there by... It took us, what, 3 minutes to set that up, to get there, and to run it. And we won that game. And we won it because we got rid of those two guys. I wouldn't have wanted to face them on even terms at all. They looked like they knew what they were doing. And so if you can't face them on even terms, face them on uneven terms. And this is the other side of boot camp, and this is another point of exit. And one of the things that you have to understand here is that your job when you get in these situations is not to clear everyone. Like, great if you get the win. But my job right now with boot is to get out of here. There are squads freaking everywhere to our east. Absolutely everywhere. There's people all over the place. They've all come and they've gate camped this edge of boot camp, and we're expecting there to be trouble here. But there's no way around it. We are expecting it. And that guy that I just knocked, someone else cleared him, right? Someone else got rid of him, not me. Which means there's at least another squad up there behind them. And this is the Thieves Highway that goes north of boot camp along the edge of the water. And it's a terrible position to be in. But it's one of the better exit points if you just ignore what's going on above you and only take the combat that comes and pushes down into your space. And we are very, very capable here of moving along the low point of this ridge, this rocky ridge, and actually you can see Boot and I are using this for cover as we exit, but a good squad will still have so many shots at you that it's hard to get out of here. And you need to understand that often this is the high volume area that everyone hot drops at, and everyone leaving it is going to be geared up and has all the stuff. You can take all that stuff. You can take it just by coming along here and clearing them as they waltz out of boot camp. You can apply this anywhere on the maps. The exit and entry points are very, very important. And it's not just the choke points of the circle. It's also the choke points of, you know, if you're leaving boot camp, then you are going to be going one of 4 directions. And, I mean, that's not saying anything in particular that's incredibly intelligent, but you can camp those directions out, and you can very, very obviously spot where people are likely to head out. So I hope you enjoyed that. This is the end of the game. I'm going to give you the bonus footage here of Boot and I finishing this game off. I think we both ended up with about 2K. And it was a really fun game and a really good game to actually get through. We had to run and run and run through a lot of gunfire to get here, and we were pretty hardcore camped out on those exit points. But fortunately, the other squads kind of wiped each other as we left. Hope you guys are enjoying the content. Hope you guys are liking the channel still. I've got lots and lots of videos to make. There are so many different video titles and ideas that have been put forward by you guys in the comments on the community section of the page. There's going to be a lot of gear coming up in the very near future, so stick around. Look after yourselves, and as always, stay safe on the battlefield. I'm going to leave this one running in the background as we waltz off into the sunset, Sanok style.